How much should you charge for a t-shirt? That's what we're going to talk about in this video today. If you're starting your own clothing brand or your own business and you want to know how much should you charge for your products or services, I get asked this question all the time by new entrepreneurs or people who are relatively new to entrepreneurship. How much should I charge for my services? We're here outside of Zeus's Closet at our Kennesaw store, and I actually just got off the phone with a new potential client who asked me this very question. And she's starting a clothing line and wanted to know, well, how much can I actually charge for a t-shirt? Because I need to make sure I'm making a profit, but I'm scared that people may not pay $35, $40 for a t-shirt. So I said to her, well, how much does a car cost? And of course the answer is it depends. Well, a car could cost, if you're talking about say a Ford, it might cost $20,000, whereas a Lamborghini costs $400,000. But what's the difference? They both get you from A to B, right? So why does one cost way more than the other one? Or even think about, speaking of fashion, let's think about purses, bags. Why does a Louis Vuitton bag cost 10 or 20 times more than a Michael Kors bag? And the answer is, it's all about status. People are buying three things whenever they buy anything. They're either buying status, or they're solving a problem, or they're buying a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Everything that you sell is doing one of those three things. And if you sell something that's a combination of all three, then you can charge more for your product. So now let's talk about a few brands that we all know and love. Disney, for example. If you take your kids on a trip to Disney World, it's elevating your status with your kids. You're also going to create a once-in-a-lifetime experiences. And it solves a problem. It solves the problem of boredom. Let's think about Starbucks. You could get coffee from anywhere, but Starbucks is selling status. And it also solves a problem for a lot of people, because if you don't have an office or a meeting place, then Starbucks is often the third place where people choose to meet. All right, it started raining out there, so I had to come inside. So let me actually answer the question, how much should you charge for a t-shirt? Now, you also have to look at your expenses and how much it costs to make the shirt. Now, if you're doing a bulk run, then you can of course charge a lower amount for the shirt, because when you order in massive quantities, it costs you less to make it. But if you're doing small runs and just getting your brand started, then each shirt is going to be more expensive than if you were to do a bulk run. But you also need to think about how you are positioning your brand, because how your brand is priced is part of the psychology. It shows what your brand stands for. And if you come out with a cheap t-shirt that you're selling at a low price, then people will associate your brand with being cheap and inexpensive. And that's not always a bad thing. In fact, that may be the brand image that you want to give. But consider that, because if you come out cheap, it's hard to become an expensive premium luxury brand later if you change your mind. Because people, they say first impressions are lasting impressions, and people tend to associate, like if they see that your t-shirts are $15, it's going to be hard for you to come back and sell it for $150 in the future. So what's the most expensive t-shirt out there? The most expensive shirt in the world costs $400,000. And it's a very basic shirt, but it has diamonds encrusted in the design. There's also another t-shirt that is about $200,000, but it's because one of the Beatles wore it. So it has history behind it. It has celebrity attachment to it. There's a story behind it. So these t-shirts, what do they do for you? How can you justify a t-shirt costing $200,000, $400,000? Well, it's all about, does it elevate the customer's status? Does it solve a problem? And does it create a unique life experience. It's one of those three things or a combination of two or three of them, but the more your product, whether it's a t-shirt or we're talking about anything else, any product or service, the more it does those three things, then the more you can justify the expense and the price. So how much should you sell your t-shirt for? Well, what is your brand all about? What type of image do you want to give off with your brand? Kanye West sells a blank t-shirt, just a plain white t-shirt that costs $120. It's pretty much the same as a white t-shirt, a white Hanes shirt that you could buy in Walmart for $3. But because it's Kanye West and it has the celebrity attached to it, people will buy that white t-shirt for $120. It elevates their status, and it could create a memorable experience. You know, maybe they wear that t-shirt and it's a conversation piece, so it could lead to memorable experiences. Does it solve a problem? Well, not really. I mean, everybody needs a shirt, but that problem could be solved in many other ways, but at least it meets 2 out of the 3 requirements. So what other brands can we talk about here? Tesla. Well, Tesla is a sexy car. It's a status symbol. It also solves a problem because it's an electric powered car, so it's solving the problem of the carbon emissions that we have here on the planet. And driving it is fun. I mean, it goes from 0 to 60 in like 2.3 seconds. So that creates a once in a lifetime experience. Now think about your brand and how can your brand elevate the status of a business or a person? Does your brand create a once in a lifetime experience? And does your brand solve a problem? The bigger the problem it solves, the higher it elevates someone's status, and the grander the experience that it creates, then the more you can charge for your price. If it doesn't do those things, then you won't get as much for the product or the service. So that's just my thought for the day. This is Ethan King signing out. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my channel below. Be sure to like and share with someone who may find this helpful.